Yeah, Alan Spector back with you, joined as I am every Tuesday and Thursday at this time by veteran Orlando attorney Tom Olson for Olson on Law. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Alan and crew and WFLA listeners.
Our topic when it comes to buying a home and problems with the home is Florida a buyer beware state? Tom, when you buy a home in Florida, must the seller tell the buyer about all of the problems with the home, or is Florida indeed a buyer beware state?
Alan, when I became a lawyer 40 years ago, Florida was completely a buyer beware state. However, we have come 180 degrees to where now a seller must disclose to the buyer any material problems that affect the value of the property.
Okay, I now understand that the seller must tell the buyer about plumbing and electrical issues with the house. What are some other examples of what a seller must disclose to a buyer?
We've come so far that a seller should disclose to a buyer that somebody died in a house or that there's loud neighbors. My advice to a seller is disclose anything and everything to the buyer so that after the closing, the buyer does not come back and sue you.
Now, I've bought and sold houses, and I recall always using an as is contract. And now, doesn't as is mean as is?
As is simply means that prior to closing, the seller is not obligated to pay for any repairs or termite treatment. But even with an as is contract, the seller is obligated to disclose any material defects to the home to the buyer.
All right, we're in hurricane season, so what about disclosing flooding problems?
Alan, I'm glad you brought that up because we have a brand new law here in the state of Florida that says that sellers are now obligated to disclose to buyers that the property is flooded or the property is in a flood zone.
I think that's a good idea. If you have legal questions about this or anything else, Tom will be happy to answer them on the Olson on Law show. You can hear that Saturdays at 10 a.m. here on News Radio WFLA Orlando. Tom, thanks very much. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Alan.
And remember, for all of your legal needs, call the Olson Law Group in Orlando.